議員。
Good afternoon, members. We have already reached the scheduled time to start the meeting. We've also formed a quorum, so I call to order the meeting today. Item 1, confirmation of minutes of meeting. Minutes of the 8th meeting held on the 7th of December 2018. So far, members haven't received we haven't received any comments from members. Please confirm the minutes. Minutes confirmed. Thank you. Item 2, matters arising. A, report by the chairman on her meeting with the Chief Secretary for Administration. I haven't got anything special to report to you. B, further report by the Legal Service Division on the proposed resolution under Section 4 of the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance, Cap 525. I would like to give the floor to the legal advisor. She will walk us through LS 32, 18 to 19 briefly. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of the proposed resolution is to seek the LegCo's approval in relation to an order, namely MLA in Criminal Matters Mongolia order. At the last Housecom meeting, we already gave a report on the order. For this further report, this is to report to members about the replies from the administration in relation to the points we have raised to them for the sake of clarification. 4 items altogether. First of all, when compared with the model agreements, the one signed with Mongolia is such that we haven't got the refusal on the ground of lapse of time for prosecution. Moreover, we have found that there is an additional refusal ground of sex. And then for Section 18, in relation to definition of process of crime, and then in relation to Section 17, in relation to the extended period of 15 days for the application of immunities to persons giving assistance. We have already included an article-by-article comparison as an annex to the paper. We have also annexed the model agreement. We have studied the matter, so as far as the legal and drafting aspects are concerned, we do not foresee any difficulties. So on the basis of what I have mentioned in relation to the 4 items, members, any questions? Well, in relation to the proposed resolution, if you don't have any questions, the administration is going to move the proposed resolution as scheduled. Business arising from previous council meetings. A, Legal Service Division reports on bills referred to the House Committee in accordance with Rule 54.4. First, Inland Revenue and MPF schemes legislation, tax deductions for annuity premiums, and MPF voluntary contributions amendment bill 2018. I would like to give the floor to the LA. She will briefly walk us through paper LS 29/18 to 19. Thank you, Chair. Well, this is about the amendment to the Inland Revenue Ordinance to introduce new concessionary deductions concerning sales tax and tax under personal assessment for deferred annuity premiums and voluntary contributions to MPF with a cap of $60,000 per year. And this is to implement the FS budget proposal for the year 2018-2019. The FAP has been consulted. Members support the introduction of the bill by the administration, but members did mention a number of points concerning the implementation details. The SD is still studying the bill. We suggest that you set up a bills committee to look at the bill in greater details. Any members wishing to set up a bills committee? KK Kwok proposes, Fritz Chung seconds. Anybody wishing to join? Secretary, please circulate a paper to seek members' views. B, Inland Revenue Profits Tax Exemption for Funds Amendment Bill 2018. LA, LS 30, please. Thank you, Chair. The bill seeks to amend the Inland Revenue Ordinance to allow profits tax exemption for certain funds, whether or not the central management and control of the funds is exercised in Hong Kong. Well, it is said that for the exemption, there are criteria being set out. We have also got the cases of exemption. The FAP was consulted in relation to the relevant proposals. Members did not object to the proposed amendments. Some concerns have been raised, and if passed, it will come into effect on the 1st of April next year. We're still considering the bill. Please consider whether you would like to set up a bills committee. Anybody wishing to set up AABC? Mr. Kenneth Leung. Anybody wishing to join? Mr. Felix Chung will join. Clerk, please circulate a paper to seek members' view on membership. Third, Fire Safety Industrial Buildings Bill. Again, LA, please brief us on LS 27/18 to 19. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. The main purpose of the bill is to provide for a new mechanism for fire safety improvements to be made to certain industrial buildings. The bill will apply to those industrial buildings that were constructed before a particular year, or when the building plans have been submitted to the BA for approval on or before the 1st of March 1987. There can be directions to be given to the owners or the occupiers to meet certain fire safety requirements, and then offences and penalties are also being provided for in the bill. The panel for security has been consulted. Members generally support the bill, but then they have also raised a number of concerns. The bill is to introduce a new regulatory mechanism concerning industrial buildings. So members may want to set up a bills committee to look at it in greater details. Mr. Siu Ka-fai would like to set up a bills committee. Who would join? Wu Chi-wai, Jeremy Tam, etc. would like to join. Please circulate a paper. Number 4, Discrimination Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2018. LA again, please. Thank you, Chair. The bill seeks to amend various provisions of a number of legislation so as to widen the scope of protection under the ordinances. As a result of the review by the EOC concerning 4 anti-discrimination ordinances, there are 8 recommendations of priority. They are the Sex Discrimination Ordinance, Disability Discrimination Ordinance, and the Race Discrimination Ordinance. Say, for example, there should be the prohibition of race discrimination on the harassment against participants of the same workplace. They are also prohibiting discrimination on the ground of breastfeeding. Other than that, on breastfeeding, which will come into effect on a later date, the other amendments will come into effect on the day of Gazetto. The one concerning breastfeeding that will come into effect in 12 months' time. And the same panel has been consulted. Members generally support the bill. We are still considering the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. Well, members are really concerned about the bill in many aspects, so please consider setting up a bills committee. Thank you. Mr. Ray Chen, Alice Mack, Regina Yip, Helena Wong, and Ted Hui have asked for a BC to be set up. And Dr. Jiang Chongtai has also indicated his membership application. So please circulate paper. B. Legal Service Division Report on Subsidiary Legislation gazetted on 7th of December and tabled in Council on the 12th of December 2018. LS report. It covers 22 items of subsidiary legislation. As to the table setting out the various items has been tabled. I would like to give the floor to the LA. Please brief us on LS 31/18 to 19. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. First of all, for the first 5 items, there is LN 241 to 245. They are in relation to the fees. They are for the following purposes: to increase the fees payable for liquor licenses, and then there are others about firearms and ammunition regulations. 4 items are in relation to the storage of arms, storage of imitation firearms, storage of ammunition, storage of arms or ammunition, weighting, transshipment. Another one is about pawnbroker, one on massage establishment. Well, an administration would like to recover the cost for the 5 items. They will come into operation on the 1st of February 2019. Thank you, LA. So, concerning the first 5 legal notices, any wish to set up a subcommittee to look at them? No. All right, please continue. Thank you, Chair. For the following 2, LN 246 and LN 247, they have been made by the Secretary for Transport and Housing so as to put into place a number of latest provisions introduced by the IMO for the carriage of dangerous goods and marine pollutants. And that's about the documentation, packing, marking, labeling, etc. of the dangerous goods. There are also new penalties. And on the in 2018, the relevant panel was consulted, and we're still considering the subsidiary legislation. They'll come into operation on the 1st of March 2019. Regarding the two items concerned, any wish to set up a subcommittee? No? All right. Please continue. Thank you. And then we have got another 11 items of subsidiary legislation under the Merchant Shipping Ordinance, LN 248 up to LN 258. Among them, 2 of them are new regulations, namely 248 as well as 249. And then for the remaining 9, they are for the purpose of amending existing subsidiary legislation. This is to give effect to the latest requirements under SOLAS. This is in relation to fire safety, construction, examination, etc. New requirements have been introduced, and we have introduced the relevant penalties and offences. On the 26th of March 2018, the Economic Development Panel was consulted. Members generally supported them. We are still considering the 11 items. They will come into effect on the 1st of March next year. Thank you. Well, regarding the subsidiary legislation, any member wishing to set up a subcommittee to look at them? No? All right. Thank you. Please continue. Next, LN 259. This legal notice is in relation to OTC derivative transactions. So that's in relation to the clearing and record-keeping obligations and destination of central counterparts. So this involves the calculation periods as well as the clearing thresholds. They will be aligned to be pitched at US dollars $20 billion. If the clearing threshold is reached, then the prescribed persons like the AIs as well as the licensed corporations have to carry out the obligations of clearing as well as record keeping. For the details, please refer to paragraph 17. For the administration, well, in fact, the FAP was given an information note. Members did not raise any questions concerning the information paper. It will come into effect on the 1st of March 2019. Regarding this particular notice or this piece of subsidiary legislation, any wish to set up a subcom? No. All right, please continue. LN 260. It was made by the Secretary for Justice to appoint the 1st of February 2019 as the day on which certain uncommenced provisions to come into effect concerning arbitration and mediation legislation third-party funding amendment ordinance. So this is about third-party funding. There's still one uncommenced provision that's about third-party funding of mediation. Well, we've been told that it will only be implemented later on. So for the 20th LN, any member wishing to set up a subcommittee to follow this up? No. All right, thank you. Please continue. For the last two, LN 261 and LN 262, they have been made by the Director of Health under the Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance, and the purpose is to appoint the 30th of November 2018 as the date for the application of the transitional arrangements concerning the clinics as well as the day procedure centers. When the Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance comes into effect for those DPCs and clinics which are already established on the 30th of November 2018, they may apply to the Director of Health for a provisional license so that they can continue with their operations provisionally until they get a license under the newly enacted ordinance. Thank you. Thank you, LA. Regarding the 21st as well as the 22nd items, and you wish to set up a subcom, KK Kwok. Any other members wishing to join? All right, please circulate a paper. I'd like to inform members that you have until the 9th of January to amend the subsidiary legislation unless and until extended till the 30th of January.
Item 4 of the agenda, reports of Bills Committee and Subcommittees. A report of the Subcommittee on Land Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Regulation 2018. I invite Chairman of the Subcommittee, Mr. Abraham Shack, to speak and give a report.
The amendment regulation seeks to revise the fees and economic costs payable in respect of excavation permits relating to excavation in unleased government land to achieve full cost recovery gradually and reflect the updated economic loss due to traffic delay caused by the excavations. The subcommittee generally supports the amendment regulation. The issues examined by the subcommittee include the assessment criteria for determining the validity period of excavation permits, the charging of economic costs for extension of permit period, as well as measures to enhance management and monitoring of road excavation works. Expressing concerns over the disturbances caused by frequent road excavation works, subcommittee members have urged the Highways Department to continue strengthening its management and monitoring of such works and keep the Public Accounts Committee of the Legislative Council informed of the progress of implementing the relevant recommendations made earlier this year in the Director of Audit Report number 70. Neither the committee nor the administration will propose amendments to the amendment regulation. Members are invited to note the deliberations of the subcommittee as set out in the written report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham Shack. B. Report of the Subcommittee on Foreign Lawyers Practice Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice, Solicitors Practice Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice, and Summary Disposal of Complaints, Solicitors Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice. May I invite Mr. Paul Chair, Chairman of the Subcommittee, to give a report. Mr. Paul Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. The subcommittee has completed deliberations on the Foreign Lawyers Practice Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice, Solicitors Practice Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice, and Summary Disposal of Complaints, Solicitors Amendment Rules 2018 Commencement Notice. Members are invited to note the subcommittee's report, which sets out the details of the deliberation. The subcommittee has held one meeting. Members have no objection to the three notices and will not propose any amendment. During the deliberations, members have inquired about issues relating to Foreign Lawyers Practice Rules, CAP 159R, and review of the Foreign Lawyers Regulatory Regime. Members would like to have a response from the Law Society. As the Law Society did not send any representative to the above meeting, the subcommittee wrote to them after the meeting and invited them to give a reply to members' questions so as to facilitate members' discussion on relevant issues on other occasions of the Council. As at the time of submission of this report to the House Committee, the Law Society has not given a reply to the subcommittee. Thank you, Madam Chair. C. Report of the Subcommittee on Antiquities and Monuments, Declaration of Monuments and Historical Buildings, Consolidation Amendment Notice 2018. May I invite Dr. K.K. Kwok, Chairman of the Subcommittee, to give a report. Madam Chair, the Antiquities and Monuments, Declaration of Monuments and Historical Buildings Consolidation Amendment Notice 2018 seeks to declare the exteriors of three Grade 1 historical buildings, namely Fong Ping Shan Building, Elliott Hall, and May Hall of the University of Hong Kong to be historical buildings. The subcommittee has held one meeting with the administration to discuss the notice. Members deliberated on issues including the administration's financial assistance for the maintenance of the three buildings and privately owned declared monuments and graded historical buildings, promotion of the heritage value of the three buildings. The subcommittee has also urged the administration to review the existing administrative grading system and statutory monument declaration system so as to expedite the assessment and increase the number of historical buildings that can be declared as statutory monuments each year. Neither the subcommittee nor the administration will move any amendment to the notice. Members are invited to note the written report of the subcommittee, which sets out the deliberations in detail. Thank you. regarding the 5 items of subsidiary legislation scrutinized by these 3 subcommittees above. The deadline for moving amendments would be at the 9th of January 2019 Council meeting. Notice for moving amendments should be given by Wednesday, the 2nd of January 2019. Position on bills committees and subcommittees. As of the 13th of December, Thursday, we have 8 bills committees in action and 10 subcommittees under the House Committee in action, and also 6 subcommittees on policy matters under panels. And we also have 8 subcommittees on policy issues and the panels on the waiting list. Next item, AOB. Nothing on the AOB. Meetings adjourned. Thank you.